Mr. Beer Belly, tear down this little wall. Tear down what you've been talking about. What's mine is mine and it's my call. My quiet soul is my quiet little home. My life is mine and I will live it while I'm here before I go. I believe that somewhere else there is rhythm in my song. There's a cause for me to live, a land and home to call my own. If I've got a soul, I'm gonna let it show. Love kiss me on the cheek, give me a laughing out and praise to speak. Talks too much too loud, only smart in his own head. Wants to take your heart away, wants to see through everything. Has got a word for faith, a sign for sympathy. There's promise every day, you have to have the ears for listening. I believe that somewhere else there is rhythm in my song. There's a cause for me to live, a land and home to call my own. If I've got a soul, I'm gonna let it show. Love kiss me on the cheek, give me a laugh. If I made a labor of love, I went to New York, I went to Chicago, I went to Pretoria. If I made a labor of love, have I ran from the light, from the glory? I was new. Can a heart overflow in the warmth it's been shown? And I love you all so much, your graciousness fills my cup. But I wonder if I've ever shown that to you. Wonder, 'cause I feel clumsy with my words, so I shout from you. And a labor in my love, I think I'm scared I lose you. I'm tired of living life so sentimental. This is the heart that I've been given, and it's my till I go. This is the heart that I've been given, and it's my till I go. Mr. Beer Belly, tear down this little wall. Tear down what you've been talking about. What's mine is mine and it's my call. My quiet soul is my quiet little home. My life is mine and I will live it while I'm here before I go. I believe that somewhere else there is rhythm in my song. There's a cause for me to live, a land and home to call my own. If I've got a soul, I'm gonna let it show. Love kiss me on the cheek, give me a laughing out and praise to speak. Mr. Talks too much too loud, only smart in his own head. Wants to take your heart away, wants to see through everything. Has got a word for faith, a sign for sympathy. There's promise every day, you have to have the ears for listening. I believe that somewhere else there is rhythm in my song. There's a cause for me to live, a land and home to call my own. If I've got a soul, I'm gonna let it show. Love kiss me on the cheek, give me a laughing out and praise to speak.
And now, People of the world, welcome to TSP's live stream show, our Super Bowl 55 special. Rob Gronkowski, the tight end for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he's not really known for his intellect, but he had a really good quote on Media Day on Tuesday. He's probably not known for his math skills either, but the quote was, what do you do? If you have 12 and you got 87, that gives 99 problems for the defense. So Rob knows a thing or two about making it hard on defenses, and he loves his boy Tom. And we're going to talk a lot about Tom in this special. So
are we?
We are. Really? We are. Okay. I'm just going to welcome in the guys. Chris is coming from. Wow, what a location Chris is. How you doing, Chris? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alex. I am coming from work, my little home office I set up here. Stole a lot of things from people along the way, and we're here. We're having fun.
Over to the other Graham. John, how are you? You guys are wearing matching shirts. I'm guessing you guys did that as kids. Did your parents dress you the same way when you were younger?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, not like we had a choice in the matter a lot of the time.
But now you're choosing to wear the best swag in the world.
Oh, of course. Super comfortable, lightweight. Feels like I practically don't even have a shirt on. So it's fantastic.
Right on. Everybody go to, what is it, Chris? Thatsports.ca/shop.
That's it.
That's where you get it.
Yeah, nice and soft. But man, this is going to be, let's go. We got a good show tonight. It'll be fun. Give a couple of shout outs. I want to give my first shout out to my Warzone clan of Team Paws. We're ranked pretty nationally so far. So we've been really kicking ass, and it's been good to play with my boys.
Let's go down to the other two boys in this show. Let's go over to Jesse Hove. Jesse's wearing a really suave hoodie. Show the people, Jess.
Model. Yeah. It's got the first That Sports hoodie. Actually, a fan purchased it for me.
Well, that's nice.
Said he was tired of seeing so much Flames gear, so he thought he'd purchase me a hoodie. I said under these circumstances, I would accept.
We have a real cold front in Toronto this week. How warm is that hoodie?
It's very, more than warm. The inner liner is very comfortable. It's very soft. So if you're looking for a real comfort hoodie, these are top of the line.
More than warm. That's a good hoodie.
More than warm. It's soft.
Like a hug from a cloud.
Exactly.
And last but not least, we're joined by Josh McClement. I think he's wearing some swag as well. Which shirt do you have on, Josh?
I got the navy blue t-shirt. It's got the big TSP there. Yeah, excited to be here. Hello, YouTube. This is exciting. We're live, so anything can happen, right?
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
When you roll into the carnival.
Listen, my hockey coach said that pressure turns coal into diamonds, but it can also crumble a house. So this is it. We're going to find out if we turn into diamonds or this whole thing just crumbles on itself. So I'm really excited to see how tonight goes.
Josh, you want to give a shout out to that coach? What was coach's name?
What was his name? I think it was Schnurr. I think it was his last name. Coach Schnurr. No, I wasn't that player. John.
My son is on the top line.
I hated those players.
Yeah.
I hated those. Yeah. The dads that put their shitty kid on the top line.
And here we go with the swearing. Poopy, so we are live.
Poopy kid on the top line. Poopy kid on the top line.
So we got 2 swears already, 2 curse words. So that's pretty good.
We'll just get like a running tally.
What's the limit, guys? 10 or something?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when we get booted off YouTube.
Details. Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm going to quickly give we've had a lot of really good social media engagement over the past week or so. So I'm going to look at this for a second. Some people who've engaged with us. Shout out to John Dempster. I know John from work a few years back. Shout out to Caleb Philip Benz Eckel. He's a guy I went to school with, really good athlete. He probably benches a lot, I would say. Some other shout outs we got Dave, my boy Dave, and Corey, another guy who's engaging. Guys, we appreciate all the love. Keep it coming. Oh, Marcus, guy from my hometown, Truro, Nova Scotia. Shout out to Marcus and Adam as well, both from Truro. So thanks everyone. Keep the comments coming. We always love to hear from you. We're gonna jump right into the show. I don't know if you know, but the Super Bowl is less than 48 hours away, and we have quite the narrative. The media is really spinning it as the baby goat versus the goat, and I think it's a bit premature to be talking about a 25-year-old as a goat. But what I can understand is people saying if he stays on this trajectory, he could get to where Brady is someday. And some people even think maybe surpass Brady.
He already has surpassed Brady. He's surpassed.
How has he surpassed Brady?
He has passed
when
Brady.
He has one Super Bowl and Brady has not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 6, and is going for his 7th. How could he possibly have surpassed them?
Here's my question for you, Al. What kind of crazy thing is Brady going to pull to get this victory? Like, are the Chiefs the morning of the Super Bowl, they're going to all of a sudden come down with COVID? Is there going to be some type of, bomb threat in the building where they got to postpone? Like, how is Brady going to pull off?
Does it have to be that extreme? Like he was just deflating balls and now he's going
I'm just, I feel like he's running out of options here, right? Like he's already.
He could also just ball out, Jess, and lead his team to victory as he's done many times in the Super Bowl.
Or just buddy up to the refs. I don't know. Is that not an option?
Sorry, are we talking that Tom Brady is now an Al Qaeda operative? Is that what you're saying? Like the
I'm just
goat
saying
is a nickname.
He is very creative of giving himself an edge, and I'm curious to know what kind of creativity he's up to tonight, Sunday night.
I'll give you a few creative things to do. Throw to Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski. Hand the ball off to Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette.
Oh yeah, because both of those guys, they've all had fantastic seasons.
Yeah, and it's not like Travis Kelce is sitting on like basically his Hall of Fame stamped season.
Tyreek Hill, and then you got the defense sitting there with Matthew, the honey badger, just waiting to pick off those balls. Like what? Gronk got one pass in the playoffs, happened to run for 15 yards. Like, okay, great design play, sure, but come on. Okay, you guys forget who the Chiefs are. You seem to be forgetting who the Chiefs are just because.
I agree.
Let's talk about the Chiefs.
I'm not saying Brady isn't still good. The Chiefs. It's the Chiefs are really, really good. And so if Brady wants to,
what makes the Chiefs so good? That's my question for everybody. What makes the Chiefs so good?
They've got
3 years of consistency.
Yeah, they're back to back in their Super Bowl, right? So they're back in the Super Bowl, which is why I said earlier, like Mahomes is ready to surpass Brady because you just said it. He's 25 years old and he's playing in his second Super Bowl, which is back to back. He's already won one. If you look at those stats line, and like I know we'll be talking about this, but this is going to be an argument. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying he's surpassed them altogether because obviously Brady's in 42 and he's still playing. Mahomes is 25, but he's already surpassed him as starting in the NFL before Brady
exceed or be greater than. How can you say that when he's only won one Super Bowl? Like, yes, his stats have been
20,
so
he's
good.
25,
but Brady was that age.
And Brady
had 3 Super Bowls in his first 4 seasons.
No, man, that doesn't mean that was not on Brady though. Pull up the stats of what Mahomes has compared to Brady's first couple years in the.
I've got some stats, and I didn't want to go to this because.
You did.
No, listen.
You just randomly had those prepared.
You don't want to go there, but
this actually supports your position, John. You're gonna like this, okay? So this is Brady and Mahomes. Win-loss record in the regular season, Tom Brady, 230 wins, 69 losses. Pat Mahomes, 38 wins to 8 losses. In the postseason, Brady, 31 wins, 11 losses. and Mahomes is 6 wins to 1 loss. That 1 loss is against Brady. So if Brady beats him again, if, and he gets 7, the argument I've heard by the talking heads this week is that will be very difficult. It'll be a big ask for Mahomes to get to 7 Super Bowl titles if Brady happens to win this title.
Listen, like I would agree with that. So, and this will appease you. Like you can't argue with you can't 100% argue against rings, right? You're right. He's got 6, right? And we were talking earlier. I was mistaken. Montana only has 4, right? So until Brady got, past Montana, I do remember that, right?
Bradshaw has 4 too. Is that right?
Bradshaw has 4. But one of the best things about football for me personally, and I think, is it's the ultimate team game. It's the ultimate where we can make arguments when it comes to baseball is very close. I would say baseball is a close second to that, because in basketball, hockey, a little bit of baseball, especially basketball and hockey, one player can really affect an outcome of a game. Really, right? Like that's LeBron can go and take over a game, right? You guys will probably have a better one, but Sidney Crosby can. If he
that's
wants
a great
to.
choice, maybe the best choice. Well done, John.
There you go. But the point is so Brady and quarterbacks like Peyton Manning, like they can affect the game, but every single person on that field needs to do their job.
Starting with the offensive line,
right? So for me, that's where I get a little bit of argument, where it's he has that 6 rings, but he still he throws the ball. He's in charge of the offense. He's the quarterback, and all love always goes to quarterbacks no matter what. But that, if you look, his stats hasn't proven. His longevity is great because he's got a good team put around him. Not everybody was able to have that, right? So it begs the question that we talked about earlier, and Danny, we previewed it with Danny Amendola saying it, that it's actually Brady is the Patriot way, not the actual Patriots, or the Patriots would be in the Super Bowl, right?
I think Danny's lost his mind.
So that's the Biggs argument, right?
Yeah.
Is he the GOAT? Okay, I never really like to buy into these GOAT arguments because, I take it back to the old school. I prefer the old school. Like I said, Montana paved the way for Brady, right? So guys that did it in a tougher game, in a tougher, and that's across sports. Sports changes. So to compare who's greatest of all time is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, he's got 6 rings, but I compare it as, is he been the best quarterback statistically across his career? No, I would say that's where he falls short in my mind of being the GOAT.
So Tyreek Hill is maybe the fastest player in the league. So they have that. No one can stay with him, almost no matter what the coverage is. I'm guessing Tampa will have to play a lot of zone just to try to keep Tyreek in front of them. Kelsey is maybe one of the best route running tight ends of all time. I didn't know this. Kelsey and Gronk are both 31 years old. I didn't realize that. But Kelsey's well on his way, as you said, Chris, to an amazing career. Mahomes' legs is another factor where he surpasses Brady with his athleticism and his legs. This stat is impressive. Rushing yards per game for Brady in the regular season, 3, because Brady's not a runner. Mahomes, 17 yards per game. In the postseason, that goes up to 24 yards per game for Mahomes. So he's got this other element that Brady doesn't have, and hopefully that's not what kills Tampa in this Super Bowl. I'll throw it open. Anything I said there, and specifically on the Chiefs, what do you think of who Mahomes has around him, fellas?
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Justin.
I was just going to say it's interesting that you bring up Kels and that they're the same age, because I've always thought of Gronk as kind of the originator of that new tight end. That, yeah, you're big and you're strong, but you can also catch, you can also score touchdowns. And Travis Kelce seems to have perfected that. And it's interesting that they're same age, because I always thought of Gronk as kind of the Brady of tight ends, and Kelce is kind of the Mahomes. But if they're the same age, then that doesn't really work. But
I was thinking about this the other day. I think that this is a real era for tight ends. I think it's been a long time since we've seen such solid superstar tight ends that when it comes down to it, they're going to end up being the ones who are kind of making or breaking games at times. like if we look at like Zach
Yeah, 100%.
Miller with the Bears, blows out his knee with that New Orleans game, what, like 2 seasons ago, ends up retiring because he's lucky he survived that. But he is the exact same cut of tight end that Gronk is, and so is Travis Kelce. Like, they're just beasts who could really play any other position and play it really, really well.
I do think Kelce has the edge in route running. That's what a lot of the experts are saying. Like, he runs routes in the same way that a wide receiver does. Like, he can contort his body for his size in remarkable ways. Where Gronk probably has the edge is he's a great blocker. So even when Gronk isn't catching passes, he's helping his team a lot with his blocking.
Yeah, I agree with you guys both. I think the tight end position, even like you said, Chris, it's a very unique position to football, and even like Mike Ditka, he almost like originated bringing in that like tight end, that tough guy that could block and will carry the ball and take it downfield, and still could catch and do that. So like you would see that evolution starting. I would just go back to there, but yeah, it's an intriguing position today, and the way football is now, exactly. You need to be able to catch. You need to have Kelce's speed, like Gronk's passing, and these two guys are, I don't know. I'm not going to give much praise to Gronk, but his skill wise, yeah.
But you would have loved him on the Dolphins. I know you.
Oh yeah, hey man, like if Brady decided to want to go to the better Florida team, like yeah, I'd take that in our absolutely. But
But have you guys seen Moonbase 8?
I couldn't get.
It's on
Moonbase.
Travis
8?
Kelce's in the first episode.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, man,
yeah,
it's so
I don't-
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Travis
good, but yeah.
Kelce's in the first episode,
John
and
C.
he's
Reilly.
just
Yeah.
he's hilarious. So
If I could offer my 2 cents on the Super Bowl, and I know that everyone's dying to hear what I have to say.
well, it is the Super Bowl special, so please
Like
join
you
the
got,
conversation.
I mean, I don't know much, but you got Tom Brady and he's got his offense. You've got Mahomes and he's got his offense. Like defense, that's got to play a factor. Who's got the better defense here? Because the Kansas City, I don't know. To me, they look like they got a fine defense. What's Tampa Bay's defense? And I think that's going to make the difference.
Do you mean they have a fine defense or they have an adequate defense? Which, like, what like, if you want to just clear up where you're trying to get at, fine or adequate?
Well, they have an absolutely nothing wrong with their defense. It looks pretty sharp, right? I would say Tampa Bay, maybe their defense is a little adequate. Maybe they've had enough just to get this far.
I think Tampa has the better defense.
Hightower's still on Patriots, right, Alex? Or is he
That's
retired?
right, and he actually didn't play this year because of COVID. It rages on.
Yeah, you know what, Alex? I hear what you're saying. Look, here's my other question. I had to see your answer. Are you saying defense altogether, or I'd almost argue that Tampa has the better D line.
It's more
better
of a question,
D line and
actually.
better linebackers.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that.
Everything.
We'll see if
Kansas
that
City,
makes a factor.
Kansas City secondary is for me is key to watch. Like I agree. I think absolutely like the front of Tampa's defense and linebackers for sure.
Are you referring to the Honey Badger?
Well, absolutely.
He's
Like
amazing.
he's amazing, and like yeah. And
Maybe-
and
maybe
I
the
think it was
greatest
earlier on we
nickname,
talked
too.
about like you asked like what is it, and we've talked about it from like the beginning of this podcast. Is it comes down to coaching, right? I said it. I'm a huge fan of Bruce Arians, always have been, and I love Andy Reid, right? So these are. Well, I would almost argue that Tampa's not that well coached this year because of Brady. I think Brady has steamrolled over.
Or
Bruce
Brady
Arians.
is the one doing the coaching.
Yeah, but I also think Arians is smart enough to realize to kind of take a bit of a backseat, knowing that there is Tom Brady because
Like
he is smart. I'm just saying his skill isn't always at the top, but the guy has been around long enough of the game to know the game. So you got to have some trust when you get Brady on your team. So maybe that's an unfair statement of mine, but I think Andy Reid is a better coach. And I think that's one of the reasons why Kansas City, like Chris said, the past 3 years, getting Mahomes, getting Kelce in, adding Honey Badger, like getting to buy in this system of like, and not even Andy Reid, but it goes across the staff. What's his face? Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, like this is this is the new era. We talked about that coaches can be relatable to these young players that are coming in, because that's what young players need.
That's right.
You know?
Hover.
But down to our conservative hockey analyst, Josh, who would probably argue that.
No, I was just you talk about NFL coaches, like they're all great. I don't think you've said a bad word about any NFL coach. I've never. You were talking
I
about
did,
Mike
and
Ditka.
I know it. Yeah,
No.
Mike Ditka, absolutely.
Just going off on.
I would like
everybody.
to, but I'm going to say for this, because this is already going to be a Brady heavy episode, that the coach that I would like to talk a lot about is the second most person Alex ever talks about, and he who should not be named will not be named out of my mouth right now. I think it goes this person, God, and then Brady, or I might be out of order.
I got something for you.
Yeah, we all know you're reading.
Oh,
the
Sean,
book.
you've been reading that? Yeah.
You've been reading that book for like 2 months, man. Is it that badly written? That you can't-
Sorry, I'm back. What,
Does
what
it
are you
have
talking
pictures?
What chapter are you on?
Maybe
Number
you'd be
3?
finished it sooner if
Is
it
there
had
pop-ups?
pictures.
There's like pop-ups of
About? Listen, I'm doing okay. It's like
it's choose your own adventure. He gets the one and then he has to like stick around.
You know,
I'm on
maybe if
chapter
you got
7.
a book on Choose Your Own Adventure.
I'm about to learn about Cleveland, Chris. You'll like this. So where
man.
people say Belichick
You've been
failed.
talking about that book for weeks, Al.
Have you? Yeah, I know
Dude,
you've been
that's
watching
page
the
27.
It's not 27. It's 96. All right, get it
Go
right.
to Audible. Go to audible.com
96 of
/
100
That
page
Sports
book.
Podcast, and then plug in Bill Belichick, and you'll probably find him reading it.
Oh, let's move down. Hover, I want to get your take on a quote. Okay, put you on the spot. Okay, so give the
right.
people what they want, Hove. So
All right.
basically, people say that Loose Bruce's philosophy on coaching is no risk it, no biscuit. What do you think of that? Do you know any parallels? And you are a big hockey guy, and so other coaches in hockey or in football, where it's like, you know what, go big or go home. What do you think of that
Hockey guy
philosophy?
number one.
Coaching.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good philosophy. You know what? The first thing that came to my mind when you said that is 2 Garth Brooks songs.
Oh,
Standing-
I like the Garth.
Standing outside the fire and the dance. And
Both great
you know,
songs.
you might you might get by standing outside the fire, but you're never going to truly live unless you get a little burnt. And you're never going to truly love
That's
unless
funny,
you get in the
'cause-
dance.
Wow.
Wow.
Just
podcast
let that
reminds me
sink
of
in,
Friends
guys.
Low places.
So, props to Garth Brooks for his insight into this football game, and maybe you should remember to shake the vice president's hand.
Oh yeah.
A week's worth of
Uh,
writing.
No, here's
Oh,
Ali.
it
Here's
is
what I wanted.
COVID,
Here's what I wanted
so
to
you
say.
know, we're
As
still
much
in
as
a
I
pandemic
pick on
here,
you, as much as I pick on you about Belichick and Brady being cheaters, I'm actually cheering for Tampa Bay
Oh,
because
speaking my
because
language,
they're-
Hove.
They're done.
They're
Give it to
so
Kansas
messed
City
up.
right now.
And it's just like nobody wants them to win. The Chiefs are the favorites, but it's just like, what kind of weird shit is poop is Brady going to pull off? Because it's just like everybody hates them, but they're deviant and they always kind of find a way. They're creative. And as a fellow deviant, I just love it. I just love saying, what is Brady going to do?
I was gonna
What
say,
he's gonna
Jess,
try
that's
to
just
pull
like
off.
you. A little deviant,
Oh
but
yeah,
you always
100%.
find a way.
And it's
you
not.
always find
It's
a
not.
way.
It's not a bad thing. Malcolm.
Well, I
Gladwell
think we've
says that.
established that he
live,
might be
guys.
calling in a bomb threat. I think that's number one, that he might be calling in a bomb threat.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's got to keep it a little more subtle than a bomb threat. But I'm just, what are the little things that he's gonna? Because Brady is the expert at being the underdog, right? As he gets older and he gets older, and as he gets older, people just want to see him fail, and he continually succeeds.
I mean, put the camera on him.
Hey, well, kind of
Go
what you're saying there,
perform.
Hove. Yeah, well, kind of what you're saying. I would say this, like Brady has that mentality of like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and we all talked about it because we've all seen it, the Tiger Woods doc, right? Like Tiger. So I would only argue this, that I don't think, Brady doesn't need much to get him to that, I'm ready to go competitive edge, right? So that's the only argument. And I think you're right on something, because it was talked about in that Tiger doc, if you guys can remember that. I think that's a natural of like human nature. Like we like to see these underdogs, and Brady being drafted really low from Michigan, Bledsoe goes out, Brady comes in, Brady takes over Patriots, and he has a good rising story. And then he gets to the top, and it's a natural if you want to bring that person back down, right? Like I think there's a mix of all that going forward. And so yeah, you have a
100%.
point there. It'd be interesting to see what Brady comes with. And I think it was I saw a quote, one of the players for Tampa Bay was crying that they got the NFC Championship game when they won. He was really, and so apparently Brady was just like, well, stop crying. We're not done yet. All right.
Yeah.
And to me, that's as much as I'll rag on Brady, but hey, that's what I mean. He doesn't need that much, right? Like he knows he's been there. And I think he is that X factor of this young team of Mike Evans, and that's been just a mess in Tampa, right? Like these guys are good, but they've been a mess altogether to kind of keep them together and focus.
That's the Brady effect, guys. That's the Brady effect.
But the difference, the Brady effect is what you'll see is you'll never see like Montana or like Marino. I bet you like social media going off, and when they win the NFC Championship, post some dumbass video.
Yeah, you'll
again.
never see
Like that's just ridiculous. Or you'll
never
never see someone like a Gronkowski
Okay,
or like
but
Travis Kelce. He
hold
never
on.
took the Lombardi Trophy to a baseball game and let someone pitch him a ball and
Yeah,
try to
that's
swing it with a
like that was
legendary
dumb.
stuff. The stuff of legends.
so-
It was dumb. But also, like, if Dan Marino lived in the social media age, 100% that guy would have.
he'd be king. He would
He
would
be
rule.
all over it. He
Guys,
would be
this isn't
TikTok
a fair
Danny.
comparison
This is what we would
because
say. We would call him
Dan
TikTok
Marino
Danny.
never won, so he never did hold the trophy. So it's not even it's nonsense.
Yeah, but he played fair.
Oh,
that was the thing.
Yes,
his,
thank you
all his
very
balls had the right amount of air.
And
He
Al,
just
here's
put those
what I'll say. And
isotoners
here's
on.
I was gonna say he kept the isotoners on that warmed his hands, so he didn't need
Yeah.
to play Denny balls. But again,
Here's
man,
the one thing
my
I'll
argument's
say,
gonna
Al,
come
the
back
one-
to his team, right? Like there was some pretty
Yeah.
rough teams that Marino had.
Yeah.
And he could only go so
That's
far. But greatest
Um,
quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl.
The one thing that I am slightly uncomfortable with, but I've decided that just athletes are all just professional athletes are mostly all just bad people anyways, that it's really hard to pick and choose. But the one thing that does make me uncomfortable is one of the Brady here's the thing, Brady will do anything to win, right? So what's the one thing he's done? He's decided to give Antonio Brown a chance. Now I don't want to prejudge Antonio Brown. It seems like he's done some pretty bad things, and it sounds like some of the women are getting a subpoena from the NFL and all this stuff, and it's awful to hear. One thing I've realized with sports, and I used to do this with you guys, where I just like, the moral argument. One thing I'm realizing now is just everyone is so bad at that level. It's just like you can always find someone on a team that I want to judge Brady on that, and I want to not choose Tampa Bay because of that. But the moment I start doing that, I think you go down a rabbit hole where you just start seeing so many different issues as well. But that's the one thing that makes me a little uncomfortable cheering for Tampa Bay. But
Guys,
that's tough.
thanks for all your thoughts. We're actually going to go to a interview that I did with Alton Bynum. So Alton Bynum, I used to vacation in PEI, Prince Edward Island, growing up, and Alton Bynum would bring his family to PEI, to Long River PEI, and we would hang out together. And Alton is a huge Patriots fan, a huge Tom Brady fan. He worked at Gordon College for 30 years as the superintendent of grounds, and he's a really wonderful man. And so we have about a 10-minute video that we're going to share with everyone on Brady and the Patriots. So enjoy. Alton, what's your memories of being a Pats fan in the early days?
Yeah, in the late 70s, they had a really competitive team that was a heartbreaker. But in the 80s, again, the tail end of Steve Grogan's career, and who has to come in. But maybe my most disliked quarterback, Tony Eason. Tony Eason, when he got sacked, would either look for lint on his jersey or go to his fingernails to see what, anytime he got sacked. And he just didn't have the heart that Grogan had.
Yeah.
And, Parcells comes along. Parcells, we were so excited when Parcells came. And he really did transform the Patsies into the Patriots.
I've seen the brown bags that fans used to wear in Foxborough Stadium, right? The brown bags that said Patsies.
Yeah, so you could just show up on game day and get tickets at the gate. Most of the games you had to listen to on the radio because they weren't sold out. So you had to, but this dates back to the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Once the 80s came and once we got Parcells, there was no more going to the gate to get your ticket.
Right. So then we come up to the 90s. The Pats still don't have a Super Bowl title. Many decades of heartache and a couple close calls, as you said. And then we get to 2001 and Drew Bledsoe is the quarterback. He's an all-pro, and a lot of people love Drew, I'm guessing. And then Drew gets hurt from a hit by the Jets. Was he a linebacker, number 57? Oh, shoot. I knew his name. I can put it in later. That linebacker, he hits Bledsoe, and Bledsoe has a life. His life is literally in danger. And this young guy comes in, Tom Brady, who's drafted in the 6th round, 199th pick. 6 quarterbacks go ahead of him, and he's on the Patriots. He makes the team, and he comes in for Bledsoe. And I guess my question here, Alton, is what's your first memory surrounding that season? And with Brady coming in, what were your impressions of Tom Brady?
Yeah, Tom Brady, my first memory of Tom Brady was in a preseason game. They put him in. We're all excited about seeing a few plays, and that's all he got was a few plays, and it was a 3 and out. And we were expecting so much more, but we had Drew Bledsoe. Bledsoe was an incredible player. I can't say enough about Drew Bledsoe. Up until then, we didn't have a guy that could throw the ball like Drew. Drew could sling it. And, 360 yards a game. I mean, it was just like, I don't know. That just seems to be the number, numbers way over 400 a lot of the time. But there was something about Drew though that was very upsetting to me, is he couldn't step up in the pocket.
Okay.
And so he would drop back a 7-step drop, and the defensive ends would be yelling timber on the way in. I mean, they knew exactly where he was going to be. He never stepped up. He couldn't get in the right position to make these throws. Even though his arm was so strong, he didn't really need to be in position. He had some great receivers along with him. And so then he gets, a broken blood vessel in his heart or something. Really bad. And Tom Brady comes along, and I don't really remember that he did that much in that game.
Yeah.
Again, I was like heartbroken, that Bledsoe was down, and you just thought he'd be back,
And am I right in saying that Bledsoe gets hurt, Brady comes in like week 10 or 11, something like that, but then Bledsoe recovers in time for the playoffs?
That's right.
And then Belichick chooses to go with the young, unproven Brady. Were there some fans who were irate at that decision?
Oh, all my friends.
Yeah.
I still was a little. I wondered about Brady. I didn't know if he could pull this off. But it was a different team, though. It was a lot of people were fighting for positions. Belichick is one of the best at inspiring people to come out of nowhere.
Right.
So there was a lot of competition, and Brady just had a way of winning.
Right.
And so that was a great season. The next season when he took the reins and brought him.
Right. Okay, let's just jump ahead for a minute to where we are now with Tom Brady. So this guy comes in 2001. 20 years later, he's still playing at this remarkable level. So let me read you a stat, Alton. Tom Brady's playoff record is 33 wins, 11 losses. The second place player in terms of playoff wins is Joe Montana with 16 wins. What are your thoughts on that stat?
It's an amazing stat. So even Joe Montana's stat, that's a season of playoff games. Brady's closing in on 3 seasons of playoff games.
Right.
I mean,
amazing.
It was always, involved in developing these other guys around him, and for him to be in that many playoff games, and a lot of them I give credit to Belichick. I have to. Some of these defenses that they put together, but there was years with no defense, and there was and some of these victories you just have to put on Brady. I mean,
right.
So
okay, so here we go, TSP listeners. We've got our top 3 from superfan Mr. Alton Bynum. Top 3 Patriots Super Bowls.
All right, so it's definitely the first Super Bowl, 36.
Is that number 3 or number 3 or number 1?
I'm sorry, the first,
But in your rankings, is that number 3 or is that?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's number 3.
Okay, it is number 3. Sorry, I just misunderstood. So number 3 is the first Super Bowl. Okay.
Yeah. The first win.
The first win. That's
right. Tom Brady gets them there. Ty Law, has an unbelievable interception for a touchdown. Yeah. There was, it was all team. It was all about team.
And they knock off the superpower that is the Rams and
the greatest show on TV.
Right.
And again, that 41-second drive at the end of the game.
Right.
That was that's in the Vinatieri kick again.
That's right. Okay, what's number 2?
Number 2. I debated this one too for a while. Seattle was an unbelievable game too. Super Bowl 49. Patriots win 28-24.
I'm wearing the shirt for Super Bowl 49.
There we go.
That's the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a great Super Bowl. Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch,
Richard Sherman, really good lockdown corner. Yeah.
And Pete Carroll, the next, Patriot coach. And then it comes down to Malcolm Butler.
And the Patriots were down by 10 points, correct? And then
that's right. The biggest comeback ever at that point.
At that point. Which is an amazing segue into the best comeback of all time.
That's right. Number 1.
Yeah.
Number 1 has to be Atlanta.
Yeah.
I was really debating whether the first one shouldn't be the best, but Atlanta just stands out. Yeah, there's so many plays in that game that if they just didn't go that one way, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Right on. Well, thanks for ranking those Super Bowls. I just got a couple more questions for you,
Okay.
specifically on Brady. That was really great. Thanks, Alton. So where does Tom Brady rank for you in terms of New England sports icons?
Brady's number one.
Right.
Yeah, right. It's got to be. But Bill Russell, there's a great shot of Bill Russell. He's got his hands up like this, and he's got 11 rings in there.
That's right.
More, you see these ones with Brady with all this jewelry, but 11, you don't even have enough fingers for that.
That's right. That's right. He might be I don't think it's argued he's the greatest winner in any sport, right? Bill Russell.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you have any sour feelings, any sour grapes towards Tom for leaving the Patriots? And do you find yourself rooting against him at all in this Super Bowl?
No, I'd never root against Tom Brady. I have sour.
Me neither.
I have a sour taste in that they couldn't figure out a way to keep him there till he just couldn't play anymore.
Right.
That's the part that I would like to know. There's some of these things you'll never know.
Yeah.
Why Randy Moss left, or
Right.
why, Brady is one that. I'm sad.
You're sad, but no sour grapes. You're wishing
no
wishing
sour
Tom
grapes. Yeah, and I really think he has a great chance of winning this thing.
Yeah. So here's a question. Can you give your Super Bowl 55 prediction? What's your final score? Who wins and who's your Super Bowl MVP?
All right. Well, it's hard. It's hard to go against history.
Yeah.
Tom Brady with the MVP. I'm going 38-31.
38-31. Oh, it'll be exciting.
I think it's going to be a shootout. Both quarterbacks are great. Both defenses are good, though.
Yeah.
And sometimes that you would think that makes for a low scoring game, but I can't see these two not scoring points.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alton. That's really great stuff. I really appreciate you doing it.
Completely wrong. That makes no sense at all, Josh. To even come out with that, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, Josh, what were you even thinking?
I think the rest of you are all just ignorant. And
no, you obviously know nothing about this game and nothing about what's going to be happening on Sunday. It's borderline offensive. What you just said.
Hey, good question, Josh. Did you have chickens in Hanover?
Pardon me?
Did you have chickens in Hanover?
John, there's chickens everywhere. What are you talking about? What do you think Hanover is just some weird place that you've never had?
There's chickens in my backyard.
Yeah.
Oh, Hanover is a weird place.
And
well, Josh is from
what's
Hanover.
weird about it? You're live. Now's the time.
Josh is from Hanover. John and Chris are from the Sioux. Is that fair to say?
That was one place.
That was one place. Jesse's from Calgary. I'm from Nova Scotia. True.
Really?
I also feel like I represent Saskatchewan, and in Saskatchewan, this would be considered a bunny hug. So repping you Saskatchewan people and our bunny hugs.
You know what's actually one of the good
bizarre.
things about living in the Sioux? That it's not living in North Bay.
Okay. So we're going to go to our next segment.
North Bay is not even really north, is it?
So we learned a lot from
Like the tip.
from Mr. Alton Bynum. He
Just the tip.
What a great segment he outlined. Just it was so fun for me because I'm a Pats fan too, and he's rooting for Brady, as am I. He's just sad that Brady's not a Patriot anymore, but he's rooting for him. Let's talk about Tom a little bit more. So this is interesting, guys. You could take Tom. This is how great Tom Brady is. Give me your thoughts once I'm done here. You could split Tom Brady's career into two careers and still have a Hall of Fame career. So from 2001 to 2011, he had 3 Super Bowl titles, 5 Super Bowl appearances, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 regular season MVPs, a .780 winning percentage, 16 playoff wins, 9 division titles, and 7 Pro Bowls. From 2012 to 2021, also 3 titles, 5 Super Bowl appearances, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 1 MVP, a winning percentage of .757, 17 playoff wins, 8 division titles, and 7 Pro Bowls. It is staggering. Go ahead, Chris.
So we could go on and on and on and on, continue to lick his cleats here, but you're right. And I never thought of it this way, is that you could break this down into 2 separate careers and you would have 2 Hall of Fame players, which is phenomenal, really. Like if you look at the length of his career, we talked about it earlier in terms of people, I cheered for Tom Brady right off the bat. That first Super Bowl, I was like, all right, all in for the Pats. Let's see this go. A couple of years, okay, yeah, let's see it go. But then you just want someone else coming in. I'm going to feel this way in a couple of years about Patrick Mahomes. To be honest, if he wasn't playing Brady, I would be, all right, enough of Patrick Mahomes. Let's move on to someone else.
Interesting.
That being said, we have a really great crop of QBs right now. People are sprinkling throughout the league. There's some great picks coming in off the drafts. So it's going to be a really exciting next couple of years to see who comes next. But Tom Brady is still going to be in that equation. He's still going to be there. He's still going to be playing. It's going to make for a really interesting field because, as we're going to see on Sunday, a young, third season quarterback going up against a guy who, you just said could have had 5 careers by now. I don't know. It's all just good football. And at the end of the day, for me, that's what it comes down to. It's just good football. And this is going to be a good Super Bowl. I hate Super Bowls where it's just boring and you fall asleep. I like a good game, and this is going to be a good game. No matter what you say, you got 2 middle of the road defenses and 2 great offenses. And how this is going to play out.
We'll give our picks at the end here. I'm going to jump right to our prop bets here, guys.
Can I just say one thing, Alex? Just
real
very
quick.
quickly, because we got to
John.
go.
Yeah.
In that, I agree a bit with Chris, but I will say this: how you started that, you and I differ very much in what we find interesting. Just wanted to say that.
Well, isn't that intriguing?
That's very interesting.
Common ground.
But
ground.
I think I kind of agree with Chris. But quickly, I'll say exactly what you said, Chris. But I remember the Denver-Seattle Super Bowl, right? Peyton went to Denver, new team, got them to the Super Bowl, and it was Russell Wilson was coming up, and it was very exciting. And then Denver imploded, all right, and it was a boring Super Bowl because Seattle just like steamed all over them. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping I'm hoping for a good one too.
Yeah, me too. Here we go. Super Bowl 55 prop bets. I'll go through a few of these. You guys just yell out what you're feeling. These are fun. Here we go. Will Eric Church and Jasmine Sullivan sing the national anthem in less than 2 minutes? Yay or nay?
Yes.
No.
You betcha.
What will be the result of the opening coin toss? Heads or tails?
Tails.
You always go heads.
No, who told you go heads? No, tails.
Heads.
Tails.
Will the jersey number of the player to score first be over or under 17.5?
I can't do that much. math.
17.5.
The jersey number. So like if it's Gronkowski's 87, if it's Kelsey also 87, is that right?
Over. I'm gonna go over.
So they're
Yeah, I'm
Is
taking
that
the over
something?
on that.
Yeah, I'm going under. I'm going to go under. on
Track
that one.
of? What is like?
I think it'd be
Wait, hold on, because Tyreek Hill's under, right?
Nah, he's 10.
I'm
That's
going
right.
under. I'm going under.
Okay.
Was
Okay.
Kelsey over or under?
Over.
He's over.
I'll go over.
Yeah, I'm going.
I'll
yeah.
go over. Most
How
wide
many-
receivers have a higher number, right? Do they not? Generally, outside of Tyreek Hill.
Mike Evans is
Mike Evans wears
13,
13. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
and
it's
Chris
gotta be-
Godwin wears.
But you're right, Hove. Like it's normally you're in the 80s.
What's
like,
Godwin wear, John? He had 12, but Brady took it,
he
and
took
Godwin
12.
went to.
Are people actually?
For
betting
one
on
reason,
this?
I want to say either it's 11 or 17 stick out in my mind, but
Yeah.
I could be
Is
wrong.
this actually like people bet on this? This is
Yeah.
like
Yeah. They
It's
do.
crazy? All right, let's
Put
keep going. Let's
boatloads of money.
holy cow.
Here we go. How many receiving yards will Tyreek
Awful.
Hill have? Over 90.5 or under 90.5?
over.
Okay.
Under.
Will
I think
Tom
they're going to
Brady
game plan him.
Will Tom Brady finish with at least 1 rushing yard? Just 1 yard. So
Oh,
you know how he does
not
those
this
sneaks?
game.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I
when
say
was
yes.
the
He
last
will.
time he did a sneak?
Oh, all the time
Recently.
in New England. All the time.
He
Yeah,
looks
New
about
England.
100 years
He-
old when he
he's
leaves the
like
pocket. The second
10%
he leaves the
effective on
pocket-
those sneaks.
No, he's got to stay in that pocket, Alex. If he leaves, it's
Yeah.
it's no good.
No, yeah.
I
Wow.
think they'll be waiting for that
Good one,
too,
Josh.
right? There's going to be all kinds of tricks.
Here's
So-
another one.
I'll
Will the
surprise you,
weekend,
John.
will the weekend
Would you
be
do a
wearing,
Google shirts?
fellas, will the weekend be wearing sunglasses when he's first shown during the halftime show? Yes,
Yes.
or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Scarborough represent with the sunglasses.
Plus, didn't he have a
Scarborough.
bunch of plastic surgery? I heard, so he might be having to. It went bad. That's I don't know.
Last one. Will there be a missed field goal? Yes or no?
I'm gonna go with yes because I'm sure the odds
What's-
are against a missed field goal.
I'm going to go with no.
I'm gonna
if
go
the
no.
weather,
Why
if the
do you
weather's
always go
good,
against
it'll
me,
be
Hove?
no.
Why are we always at odds?
Yeah, I kind of agree with a bit with Hove. I'm gonna go no. Tampa's in home. It's in Tampa, depending on the weather. But Kansas City's open stadium too. They're used to getting in bad weather. So yeah, I'm gonna say no.
I'll say yes. It's the Super Bowl. There's lots of jitters. Lots of
Do we
jitters.
got a weather report for the game?
I don't know. Why don't you check your
What's the
Doppler 6?
capacity they're going to go with it? Like 3,000 or what?
They
what's the
said
capacity
25,
they're gonna go
22 to 25,000 or something, but people
Thought
are
you guys were
skeptical.
fans.
25
And
out of
and they-
96,000
Of
out
the
of the
weather?
90 regular
Not really.
96 or something.
Yeah, but
Calm
I'm
down,
guessing there'll be a lot
CP24.
more. It just won't be reported. Okay, guys, our
Oh,
next
see, just
segment.
watch,
This
John.
will really this will hit you right in the gut. Best Super Bowl foods. So we've got wings, we got beer, we got nachos, we got chili. What else? Talk about it. What's the best food? That's what really brings
Listen,
a lot of
I'm
people.
gonna-
I
I'm
would
gonna-
say I would just
Gotta go
I'll
ribs
just
too.
say this. There's got to be a variety in your drinks, right? You can't just be drinking the same thing all night. You got to have a variety. You got to spice
Oh,
it up.
beer and liquor though.
Make sure there's
Wait,
a-
but
a
aren't you
good
sponsored
variety.
by Pink Whitney?
I am, but I got a couple beers in the fridge as well, and I got some Pepsi and some diet ginger ale.
Jess, you drink Pepsi over Coke?
I
Yeah, you're just finding this
Yeah, I
out?
do. Sorry, hold on.
Yeah,
I do.
just
100%.
finding this out.
I had this discussion with a friend of mine, good friend of mine, and
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, and
Friendship,
I believe
remember?
he called me.
Friendship.
I think he called me a psychopath because I drank Pepsi over Coke. But yeah, so if you drink Pepsi over
Psychopath
Coke,
seems a little
I'm
harsh.
with you.
Seems
Ah,
like
Just
he
like-
needs a
just like
shout-out,
Deviant,
John. Give him a
Jess.
shout-out.
Deviant seems a little hard.
He's not a soft fellow, but he's not also a hard fellow. So he's like that in between.
Oh, I
Oh,
think
so
I
he's
know
a
what you're talking
relative.
about now.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
Guys, we have
I
eight-
just
He
I
likes
just
his
got a-
relatives.
Sorry, I just got a text saying that the definitive Super Bowl food is KFC. There's no other option. You have to order a bucket of KFC with the Super Bowl.
I haven't had KFC in
Wait,
probably-
Oh,
that's
man. That's
probably
yeah.
easily
That's
7 years.
7
Popeyes.
years. No
What about
KFC.
Popeyes? So you got to go with
Not a big-
KFC or you got to go with Popeyes?
That's what the text read. The we
feel
used to
like
have
that
these
might-
big Super Bowl parties out at our house, when we were in university, and people used to drive in from the local university, people used to drive in from our school, and there'd be like 30, 40 people in the house, and my dad would make this chili that like he would buy extra like containers at the dollar store and send people home with this, and people would show up just for this chili. And chili and sausages, that's what we had. But
I was gonna throw in the sausages.
it's because we couldn't afford to fork out for the KFC for
Well, it's almost
all
like
those
what you
people
said
who-
over the variety of drinks. You got to have if you're going to throw a Super Bowl, you got to have a spread, right? Like,
yeah.
I
So
used to go to
what
one
do you
and
have,
we did
John?
we did a
You got-
chili.
You
we
got
did a chili
ribs at your spread?
Yeah, I would do ribs. I would get the KFC in there for some good like fried chicken. You get a good chili, right? You get some sausage, and then you get all the little finger things, right? You can do like bacon wrap sausages kind of stuff if you want to. That's your sausage element. You can do like jalapeno poppers,
I was gonna
any
say
kind of
that's
like the good little
jalapeno
finger
poppers.
foods, right?
I love that stuff.
And then obviously you got to load up on your chips and exactly what Ho said. Make sure you can't just serve one drink. You got to have a variety of drinks.
You
Absolutely.
know what I'm looking forward to? The Doritos commercials. They're always good.
Oh
They're
yeah,
always
the
good.
Doritos commercials are always great.
Yeah.
You know what I got? What I'm saving for my Super Bowl, since we're in COVID, so it's just for myself, is I got myself a bag of Lay's Swiss chalet sauce Lay's.
Oh,
They are phenomenal.
come on.
Oh no,
No.
I had them once, and I'm while looking at them every night. I'm just waiting until Sunday.
What,
Listen,
Guys,
what
I
would you
never-
we only
compare
have-
them to?
we
What's
only have-
the closest?
I'm gonna
Is
step
that
in
like
here,
all
guys.
dressed?
If you don't drink- if
what
you don't
would
drink the
compare
syrup,
flavor?
5
If you don't drink the syrup
warning.
at Swiss chalet, then
5-minute
you
warning.
yourself are a
Yeah,
psychopath.
put a yeah.
You know, I put the sauce in my Caesars. Just saying.
Smart
We're
man.
gonna
Came
we're
up
gonna
with
go to
that.
our last segment, guys. Everyone's favorite game: start, bench, cut. We got 5 minutes left for this live stream, so let's keep the answers snappy. But we
Yep.
got some really good start, bench, cuts. So these are Super Bowl halftime shows throughout the years. Okay, first one. This is women artists. Here we go: Lady Gaga, Madonna, Beyonce. Start, bench, cut.
Oh, okay. I'll just
Okay.
start this off. I would start Madonna just because I'm old school, and you go with the Queen Bee and you're on your bench. And fortunately, as much as I like Gaga, she gone.
I go the exact
Unbelievable.
opposite. Lady Gaga, go keep Beyonce on the bench, and I'm axing Madonna. Forget that.
That's what I would do, Josh. Hey,
Wow.
Yeah, you youngins. You
I'm
youngins.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
gonna go
Gaga.
different from all you guys.
guy's like 33 years
Beyonce killed
Yep.
it. She was awesome, and she was
True.
looking so good. Then Madonna on the bench, and then Gaga cut.
Yeah, Queen Bey, Material Girl, Monsters Inc. out.
Oh, Chris.
Next
what
one,
happened, man? Come
Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. Tom Petty. I think he might have had the Heartbreakers with him. I'm not sure. And Bruno Mars with Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's a bit complicated. So
Tom Petty
JT
start.
Tom
Ju-
Petty starts. Okay.
Tom Petty starts. Justin Timberlake and Jan Jackson bench, and then you get rid of Bruno Mars.
on. I'd start Tom Petty as well. He always has the Heartbreakers with him. I'd bench the Chili Peppers, and then I'd cut Justin Timberlake for sure.
That Bruno Mars show was fantastic. Him playing with the Chili Peppers was absolutely amazing. So that's the start. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers is on the bench, and yeah,
Nip Slip is gone.
Nip Slip's gone. That was terrible even before that.
Yeah, but it's Justin Timberlake, man. The guy's
No, he tried to save
Listen,
the show.
just because your favorite
right,
movie
let's
is
fit some more
2020
in.
was
Hey, man,
Trolls
I
2.
own it.
How about these ones? Prince, Bruce Springsteen, U2. Start one, bench one, cut one.
Oh, you got to start with the boss, and then you got to go
The
U2.
boss
U2 is
scored the
epic,
boss.
and then what was the last one you said?
You're cutting
You gotta-
Prince, Jess?
Prince.
I cut
This
Prince.
is
I
terrible.
was never-
Purple-
I
Purple
think it's
Rain?
just
This is
Prince
hard.
is just Prince was just before my time. Just
Wasn't
a
it
little,
actually raining during the halftime show with Prince?
Yeah,
I'm sure it was really good, but U2 and the boss are like
Why do
I-
you two didn't do that great?
they
The
have
performance
changed my
yeah.
life.
wasn't that
I would cut Paul Houston and the boys. They're gone.
Oh,
It was a terrible show. Prince was amazing.
Like
So
that.
Prince is on the bench. Bruce Springsteen is starting, and yeah, U2 is cut, and that breaks my heart.
I'll say this. I kind of agree with Chris. Exactly. It's hard to cut U2, but I would cut U2. And yeah, I agree 100% with Chris. But a twist is if I ever did run the Super Bowl, I would book probably one of the best bands ever, and that's Major Grey.
Hey,
Major
dude, don't
Grey?
knock it. There was a time they were one of the top bands in the
Couldn't
city.
you,
they were least easily the top band to appear on
but yeah,
CTV.
yeah. Breakfast
We've
Dogs.
got a really heartwarming story. Let's finish on a heartwarming story. I'm not sure of his first name, but Duvernay Tardif, the Canadian. He just what an inspirational story this year. And Chris, you want to take it away?
Oh, I just think that if the Chiefs win, I think that he should be entitled to a Super Bowl ring. I think that packing it all in for a season and turning around and working in a hospital, working the front lines of COVID in the province of Quebec, that's just so hard hit with this thing, and to put it all aside for that, I think this guy deserves a ring, and hopefully the Chiefs do the right thing.
So his name is Laurent Duvernay Tardif. Very French.
Yeah, I can see them do that. I agree. I hope so, but I could see them do this. Absolutely, I agree.
100%.
All right. Well done, everybody. Thank you to everyone for listening. This has been a lot of fun doing a live show for you guys. Go Bucks. Go Tom Brady. Hope he gets his 7th. I know he's the underdog, but I'm riding Brady. I'm riding Bucks. Hope it
Chiefs
happens.
back to back.
I'm riding with you, Ali.
All right. Jess?
Yeah, I'm going for the Chiefs back to back here.
Wow.
Chris's Chiefs back to back. And Jess?
I would love to see Brady continue to make people very angry.
Even in your
It's fun
pick,
to
you're
watch.
stirring the pot.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really care about Brady himself, but I'd just love to see people get pissed off.
Yeah.
Since it's a different show, everyone go check out Steve Benjamins. He's a great musician. He's on YouTube or Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your music. He is our flagship musician for TSP. And go get your gear online. www.tsp.ca/shop.
And now,
Mr. Beer Belly, tear down this little wall. Tear down what you've been talking about. What's mine is mine and it's my call. My quiet soul is my quiet little home. My life is mine and I will live it while I'm here before I go. I believe that somewhere else there is rhythm in my song. There's a cause for me to live, a land and home to call my own. If I've got a soul, I'm gonna let it show. Love kiss me on the cheek, give me a laughing out in praise to speak. Mr. talks too much too loud, only smart in his own head. Wants to take your heart away, wants to see through everything. Has got a word for faith, a sign for sympathy. There's promise every day, you have to have the ears for listening. I believe that somewhere else there is rhythm in my song. There's a cause for me to live, a land and home to call my own. If I've got a soul, I'm gonna let it show. Love kiss me on the cheek, give me a laughing out in praise to speak. I went to New York, I went to Chicago, I went to Pretoria. If I made a labor of love, I went to New York, I went to Chicago, I went to Pretoria. If I made a labor of love, have I ran from the light, from the glory I was new? Can a heart overflow in the warmth it's been shown? And I love you all so much, your graciousness fills my cup.